Welcome to a special Jace Media music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smollison, proud Jace contributor from across the pond. I am delighted to welcome back to Jace Media Music one of my favorite musicians, Mr. Alessandro Del Vecchio. There he is, we're buds, and he is the keyboardist and songwriter for one of the great European rock and roll bands. I'm talking about Hardline, and Hardline's brand new album, Shout, is going to be released worldwide from our brilliant friends at Steamhammer SPV Records on April 17th, and that coincides with the start of a multi-day tour through April and May, and then it will pick up again doing some festivals in the summer and back again in Europe in November and the fall. So there's so much. We're going to talk all about Shout and what his collaboration style is like with singer Johnny Gioli and the other members of the band. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what's coming up on the tour and why this is such a rebirth for Hardline. You are hearing a clip of the very catchy title track. It is sure to be a crowd pleaser at all these live shows. There's so much to discuss. Let's get to it. Jace Media Music audiences worldwide, please welcome my good friend from Hardline, Alessandro Del Vecchio. Okay, I am joined by, as you can tell, my friend over here, Mr. Alessandro Del Vecchio. He is the man of many talents. He's in so many great groups. Hardline has their brand new album coming out soon. It's called Shout. It'll be available on Steamhammer SPV. Alessandro, welcome.
Hello, my friend, and thank you for having me back again.
Of course. And I was telling you before we were rolling, I show this picture off all the time, and that was when you were in New York with Project, which does many covers of famous deep cut prog rock songs, and we met in New York City, and you were just fantastic to hang out with, and then fantastic to see on stage. And I'm just gonna hold on. Just to set the tone here, hold on. Come on, I got some pictures of what it's like to see Mr. Del Vecchio up on stage. There he is, rocking the guitar.
With the guitar. That's very rare. You gotta blame Rio Okumoto for that, because he loves the guitar, and he was like, "Oh, we should do a guitar duet, a duel," and that's what happened. Definitely.
There it is, yeah. And I think you really wowed the hell out of that audience with your voice, and then you came out and busted out the guitar, and it was another level. So that was
that was fun. It's a great gig, and it's a fun gig.
Yeah. So speaking of fun gigs, you've got Hardline coming out. This is your first Hardline album with Steamhammer. I want to say it's
absolutely
at many times it may be a little harder edged than prior Hardline albums. You tapping into the rock and roll vein?
Well, I don't know if it's heavier than other records that we've done. It's definitely you can feel that there's a new songwriter and a new guitar player in the band, and that I think really set the tone for a different pace for the record. It still sounds like Hardline to me, but definitely, a newer Hardline. I don't see, there's nothing groundbreaking, and we don't want to do that. But but you can feel that
you don't want to stray from the template too much. But
yeah, I mean, it's you see the name, you see the logo, you know the brand, you know what you're what to expect, and we don't want to change that. We're too old for that. But obviously, in the eternal quest of improving yourself, we tried, even in the studio, we tried different solutions for I think that the heavier feel comes from the sound of the guitar, that we really crunched those guitar tones, way harder than the past. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so you're feeling, the album hasn't yet been released, but you're feeling good about releasing it to the world soon, right?
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. It's a great feeling because we did our last record uh 2021, I guess. And with the pandemic, and we had the lineup change, and we had label change, there was definitely a lot that we wanted to shelve in the past,
Yeah.
and get rid of it, and move on with a new chapter, with a new door that we can open, and on the world and to the world, and definitely set a different path for the band, and just
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah. And so your newest player is Luca?
Yes.
And how's things with him? What's it like to collaborate with him?
So Luca, it's funny because Luca was he lives still lives, but back in the day he lived like very few kilometers from me, like
Oh, okay.
you know maybe let's say 30, 25, 20, 30 miles from my place. We knew each other. We always saw each other around, but we never worked together up until I think it was 2020 or 2021, when with Jorn we were about to do some work in the studio, and our guitar player Tore Moren couldn't play on the record, and Igor Janola from UDO and Gothard was recording tourist parts, but then Igor couldn't finish the work
Oh,
because he had other commitments with his band Corleone, and he said, "Well, maybe you should call Luca." And he's a friend of mine, lives close to me, and you should get Luca. And I called him, and we worked in the studio for Yorn, and then I was looking for a guitar player for Sunstorm, and I called him again, and we did a live session with Sunstorm that you can see on YouTube. And for the first time, we played live together in the same room. As soon as I've heard the
oh,
first guitar note, the bass player was at that time in Sunstorm was Nick Mazzucconi. He looked at me and he was like, was saying, "You got the new guitar player for Hardline, right?" Like one note, and I
that
was
was it.
like, and then
All right.
after the session with Sunstorm, I talked to Luca and I said, "Okay, Luca, here's the deal. We're with Hardline, we want to do, we have a few shows. We maybe want to do another record, but we definitely have shows, and I would love to have you with the band." And
Yeah.
and he, thank God, he said yes. And now we've been playing with him, I think it's 3 years now. And I said, when it was time to work on the record, I was like, Luca, you're a great songwriter. We wrote already songs together for Sunstorm. I said, you're a great songwriter. Just give me all you have for
Yeah.
Hardline. And here we are. I'm so happy. Such a great player. I mean, he's been playing with Doro for I think 17, 18 years. He played with Bass Bailey, and he's
Wow.
played with everybody. He's got a great resume. Incredible player. He played with with Warlock, with anybody. He's just great. Just a great professional, very rare, great human being, but also very talented. And we're very, very happy to have him in the band. Such a
Excellent.
great addition. Yeah.
So you got some new energy going on, and then
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
of course, you have Anna Portalupi.
Yes.
Yes, she's your bass player since 2011,
Yes.
and Marco De Salvia. I know him from another group that runs in the same
Edge of
circle.
Forever.
Edge of Forever. Yes,
Yeah,
of
Edge of
course.
Forever.
Okay,
Yes.
it's tough because you're in so many projects. Um,
I know,
but
I know.
yeah, and then of course you got Mr. Gioli on vocals
Yeah.
for this. So I mean, you work with some of the best rock vocalists in the world. You've got him, you've got Ronnie Romero, you got Yorn, you got more. You're a great singer too, of course. So it is it difficult to or is it difficult to write for? Oh, excuse me. Is it difficult to write for such talented singers? Do you always have to challenge yourself, or does it just come very naturally?
Well, it comes very naturally, and thank God I don't have deals that I have to write for so many singers anymore.
Yeah.
Because yes, in the past I've worked and I've written, I've produced, and I've produced in the studio, mixed so many great singers, and I'm very very grateful for that. And when I write for someone, I just my ego stands to zero, literally
Yeah.
to zero. I just want them to shine, and I just adapt. I always say that somehow the Vecchio eyes everybody like it's normal, but I got, maybe I have my trademark, or I have my strengths,
Yeah.
and I just try to write something that can sound uh, great and make them feel comfortable with the songs. With Johnny is one of the longest music relationships that I've ever had. So we know each other very well. Now it's been 15 years, and when I write, I know where he's gonna kill me, and like on the record, when I wrote the song "Glow," I wrote it specifically for him and myself for our
Mhm.
live shows, because I wrote a song called Take You Home in 2016, and we've had that song for years as a duet live, but the original version was just Johnny on vocals. And I
Yeah.
wrote this song, and I knew that Johnny would have gone you know in a special place singing that song. And when he sent it back, you kind of have that feeling of being home, but being overwhelmed, but know what you're up to, but still be surprised. Because when you write for someone, especially for a singer, whenever you put them in the comfort zone with a little bit of fire at their back, but in their comfort zone, you can really catch something amazing on tape, and that's what I
Yeah.
want. I want the songs to be special, to be with magic, special, that can touch people. And to do that, you gotta write. You gotta write for the singer, and
Does he
like
write his own?
Survivor
Does he write
used to
his?
say.
Do you guys write lyrics together, or do you hand it off? Do you hand off the song to him?
Most of the lyrics and melodies are from Johnny.
Yeah.
Glow, I wrote the whole song, and then I wrote Mother Love,
Mhm.
and when or but for example, songs like Shout, it's my music and my melody with Johnny's lyrics.
Right.
So we
You gotta open
we-
with that one, right? When you're gonna be playing live, that's like that's gotta be your new go-to.
Well,
opener.
yeah. I mean, Shout is probably gonna be the opener. We have rehearsed for the tour,
That's for
and
the
I mean,
fans,
it sounds like a natural opener, and I cannot wait to play that song live and Rise Up. And I really hope that we're gonna play Welcome to the Thunder,
Yes.
because it's got a great guitar intro. And
I was wondering, I thought it was so cool that you saved that as the penultimate track, and if you hadn't had Glow on there, that would have been a wild closer, because it sounds like an opener. It sounds like something you would open a show to, and that one got me really excited.
Yeah.
You listen to an album, and then if you're old like me, you still listen to it from start to finish. And so you go, okay, usually toward the end they start to chill it out a little bit, and then Welcome to the Thunder comes on, and you go, whoa, okay, we're back on. Metal to the metal.
Yeah. And I wrote that song for Luca, because I was like, okay, we have such a great guitar player. I want him to shine. I want him to be, front and center. And I wrote that intro, and I played the guitar on my demo, and I sent it to Luca, and I said, okay, with all due respect, But if you play that melody with your skills and you play some fast licks and we make it cool, I really wrote it for you, and I'm so happy how it turned out. And we'll see. Hopefully we're gonna play live because, or at least just the intro, because that's all I care about the song, because it's Luca's moment.
Yeah. That's kind of like your Van Halen moment, going from Eruption to Running with the Devil. It's got that sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Hey, I see your glass there. Is that a Vandenplas glass?
Oh yeah, it's
I love it.
It says Alessandro del Vecchio somewhere. Up here, close to the logo. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, so in case anybody's in the Vandenplas office, they know it's yours.
Yes. But that was a gift from the band when the record came out, and and I have it in the studio. Probably
Excellent.
Drinking my coffee from that cup.
So let's talk tour. You've got, I'm pulling up the dates right now. Please forgive me for a moment here. I can always cut this little part. Oh, yes. So you're starting April 17th at Hyde Park in Germany.
Yes.
Yes, and it's going to take you through May 9th. You're going to be back in Aschaffenburg, Germany.
Yes. Now you got a little German class. Yes.
I'm trying. And then you guys are playing Wacken in July.
Yes.
So it's an exciting
Isn't
time.
isn't that amazing? Yeah. It's a great time, and we gotta thank. I'm really grateful for the past. But really, when you are surrounded by people with a plan, that's what happens. I mean, we have a great label, and we have a great agent, and it all gelled together perfectly, because we almost didn't want to do another record, or better, I wanted to do another record, but we were lost somehow, because we were, after so many years with our former label, we were looking for something better, stronger, and that could really motivate us to move forward in a better way and build a future for the band, because we don't have, maybe Johnny won't like that, but I don't think we have, 40 years ahead of us. We have, maybe 15 years ahead of us. So maybe we have 4 records in front of us. So I really we wanted to make the right choice for our future, make it sustainable, make it right. So one day we get a phone call from Thomas from Seaside Entertainment, our new agent, our now new agent. Mm-hmm. And because this is the agent for Doro, and he saw that Luca was playing with us, and he was like, Luca, I like the fact that you're in Hardline. I think we could really do great if we work together. And we said yes to that. And Thomas came back with 30 plus shows in a few days. And with Wacken, with, the tour aligned, routing, everything done. And we never had that in the past with our, former, whoever we worked with. And Thomas said one thing on the first meeting. He said, it's all good. We can do great. But if we do a record, then it's going to be much better. Why don't we set up the tour? Sorry. We just announced the first 3 weeks, the first leg of the tour, and then we do the record. And when we announce the record, we're going to announce the rest of the tour. And we said, but we got to find a label. And he said, well, I have a great working relationship with Steam Hammer. And Johnny was like, I've been with Steam Hammer for years, with Axel Rudy Pell, and I've been knowing Holly from SPV and Steam Hammer for years. And I said, okay, let's talk to Ollie and let's see what happens. In the span of a few days, we had a record deal, we had a timeline for the record, and we started to work on the record, and the energy was back. I mean, Johnny was really like, can we still write at the level we need to write to? Can we still, top our great records that we've done in the past? And I was like, we're gonna we've done it in the past. We can do it again. And but the this new energy that we had, from Thomas from SPV really gave us such a great kick. And again, a label and a management with vision and a projection into the future really change also the way you work on a record. Because in the past, and again, I don't want to bash anything from the past, but we were just clashing out records and flushing out records and doing some shows. Now we have a label with a plan. Now we have an agent with a plan. So we're doing, for the first time after Double Eclipse, the band has a record out and has a whole tour planned. And we're going to announce the 2027 shows in a few months. But we have a year and a half for work with one record done. And we have a plan, for our future. And that really changed our perspective also for the band. Because we'd never had, a poster with 30 plus shows in a year, and Wacken and all of this. We've done, basically we were only doing it ourselves.
Right.
Because we were left alone with no strategies. So we were like, okay, we do what we can do and just use our manpower and our strengths. But that's, that shouldn't be the right way to do it. And I really feel we're now on a trajectory. We're now projected into the future, and there's a plan, there's a schedule, there's someone going, to push us to do better.
Yeah, I did. I got to see Johnny play live with Crush 40.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and wow, video game people know every single word to that music.
Yeah.
So do you find that are people from are Sonic the Hedgehog fans, because that's basically what he's writing for, are Sonic the Hedgehog fans finding their way to Hardline because of that?
I wish they did. Way more. But
he said that a lot have, but I was wondering if you noticed an update.
I mean, a lot of Sonic fans are coming to our shows. I wish more, because Sonic is so much bigger than Hardline. But
Sonic's
honestly,
bigger than almost anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's the same thing with Jorn. He's been singing for League of Legends for years. And the League of Legends fans, I mean, they can fill up a stadium in LA, but, a very small percentage are coming to our shows with Jorn. So, and it's the same thing with Hardline. I mean, nothing to complain about. It's two different kinds of music, and I understand, but the voice is the same. But we always have Sonic fans at every show. And you can see them as they're wearing the Crush 40 or the Sonic shirts. And, the video game people is really looking different than the metalheads from, our average fan is, in their 50s, wearing, denim and leather and rock and roll shirts, white long hair. And, I mean, they all look the same. But the game people, the Sonic people, they, kids and, super
right?
Yeah, I mean, they're candid, while, the rockers are like this, and the Sonic fans are, super sweet. And, but I mean, we see some kind of cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Not as much as we would like to, but yeah.
Keep plugging away. You'll get it. It's hard, because that's a multi-generational audience base right there. That started when you and I were little, and now you're talking about two generations where they got 3 or 4 movies out plus TV shows and stuff. So they've really hooked in their fan base.
Yeah.
And I saw him. I was trying to connect with him while I was at the MagFest here in the States, and he was. I wasn't able to get in touch with him afterwards, unfortunately, but people were going ballistic for him. So you've got a high-energy singer, and I was hoping he was going to bust out some Hardline music. He didn't do it.
No. Well, I mean, those shows, all they want to hear is, Live and Learn and all the Crush 40 songs. Yeah.
Excellent.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. It would have been nice if we had done a special set because I was, but it was cool to experience him live because I know it's difficult for you all to get to the U.S. generally, and so to at least have that sort of adjacent experience was really really cool because
Yeah.
and let's also cue the audience back in for a moment. Let's go through all the bands that you're currently a member of. You got Hardline, you got Van den Plas,
Yes.
Sunstorm
Yes.
still active, and
No,
Edge-
still active,
Edge
but not
Forever.
with me.
Oh, okay.
Edge of Forever, yes. Yeah.
Edge of Forever, yes. You sing for Edge of Forever.
Yes.
Okay. And Sunstorm's active. You're just not with them right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And am I missing anyone?
Yorn and Project. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So,
Five bands, it's already too many,
Yeah,
but
no, and-
it's five bands too many.
but that's the thing. When I met you, you were the in-house producer basically for Frontiers, and
Yes.
you were cranking out what must have seemed like a song a day for various artists, including the ones where you were a member of the band. And you did some great stuff. And you know me, that's how I became a fan of you. I'm a bigger fan of your work ethic, or just as big a fan of your work ethic as I am as your actual music. And
Okay.
because that part of it is inspiring to me, because I look at it as, if this guy if he can write all these great riffs and all these great lyrics, then I can handle whatever it is that I'm going through in my life or today, right? If I've got a ton of projects for other things that I'm doing, if this guy can do it and make it sound that good, I can do something. And if I can at least get 75% of that, I'm happy with myself.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, it's if you talk to myself in the morning and you're my wife, you're gonna hear me complain about all the
really?
things that I can accomplish in a day.
Okay.
Because I'm I love to work in emergency. That's the thing. I love to work.
Yeah.
I'm I'm not a workaholic. And I mean, I love to work. But somehow I give my best when I'm under pressure, which is something that I hate. Because if you send me on vacation and I don't have anything to do, I miss music, I miss the stage, but it's more like from an energetic point of view.
Yeah.
But and I love to work. I love the dedication to the complete dedication to music. But when I'm in emergency, I give my best. I love when people come to me and they go like, "Well, we need this and we need it now," or like for example, I've been asked to do the musical director for Rock Meets Classic, which is a tour that I do every year. Mm-hmm. And there I'm only one of the singers. But now they came back to me and they said, well, we would like you to be the musical director, keyboard player, and singer. But that meant that I needed to learn how to read music for orchestra.
Oh, that's tough.
Which is something that I've never done. I mean, it's always been on the radar, but I only do things when I have the necessity, the real urgency to do it. And I ended up saying yes in January, and I only had 2 months to do things that maybe require way more time, and but I love the challenges, and it was the same with Frontiers. Yeah. It was more like I was challenging them, and they were challenging me back 10 times. Yeah. 10x, but I love the feeling of being active, and I love the feeling of accomplishing things that are outside of my comfort zone and outside of my radar, and and be prepared, be competent for more. So if I for example, I with Project, it was I knew those songs, but I never sang those songs live all in a row, and shows with no days off, and a great set list, absolutely demanding vocally. I loved I said yes in the first place because of my ego, first of all, of
Really?
for the great positive feeling of saying I went out of my comfort zone and I did it, and I did it with a timeline that wasn't optimal. And it's always been like that. I mean, it's been my constant happening in my life.
Yeah.
It's always been, I only had encounters that needed emergency. It's never been like, okay, we have a tour in 2 years and you have to learn 45 songs in 2 years. It's always been, okay, we have 3 hours of prog music and our first rehearsals is in a few weeks. So
Right.
that is my drive to be active. It's the feeling of going like, yes, I did it. I did it from, they saw something in me that I didn't have at that moment.
Yeah.
And I was able to take it out of myself and do it with my own strength. So, I mean, when I was talking about ego, not in a negative way, but
No,
that,
of course not. No.
that
You want
great
to prove it to
feeling of
yourself.
going
Yeah.
like, yeah, I did it. I did it. It was me. And I said yes. And thank God I said yes. I was doing an interview a few days ago, and the interviewer said, "Did you ever say no to something?" And I said, "Well, I mean, professionally, I only said no twice in my life, really because it was impossible because I wasn't there,
Right.
actually. I
Physically,
couldn't have
yeah.
done it." Like I had a call from Uli John Roth a few months ago, and a tour schedule was clashing. I was like, "No, I really said no to Uli John Roth, but I mean, but I don't like to say no because I love to be active. I love to create, and this is my real nature is
Yeah.
being in the studio, being on stage, being creative, being music, and and at 47 years old, I still love the challenge of going like, okay, maybe it's time to challenge yourself, and
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you write when you're on the road?
I used to
Okay.
write a lot. Nowadays, health and age and different paces, I don't do it anymore. I always leave my place with a travel guitar, my recording gear, a microphone, and a keyboard that I set up in my hotel rooms. But I that is just okay. I bring it and maybe I do it. I always plan to do it, but I don't do it anymore. I mean, back in the day, I would just sit in my room and write, and
Right.
write. Nowadays, I don't want to say that I became more lazy, but it's more like, okay, maybe I should slow down a little bit. Slow down, and
Yeah.
if I don't need to write, maybe it's good not to write, because I for years I've been writing every single day. And I read a quote from Stephen King that he was, for years he wrote at least, I think it was 10 pages a day or something
Yeah.
like that. And I thought it was a great exercise to create a habit, but now that I have the habit, I really don't feel the urge, the urgency to just sit down and write because I want to write.
I think
we
you've
used
found
to.
some balance now that you have this new phase of your career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I promise myself not to. I don't want to be in the position of writing, and then there are situations where they need songs, and I start scratching the bottom of my drawers for songs that could fit,
Looking for
only
something,
only because I'm in the game, I'm under contract, and I mean it's been awesome. I don't know many other songwriters that had literally over 1,000 songs released with some of the best artists in the world. But that phase is gone. I don't want to be like that anymore. If I need to write for somebody outside of my bands, it really needs to be, for in the right circumstances.
Understood. So let's remind everyone you're going to be starting a tour with Hardline April 17th at Hyde Park with support from Sevi. And
Yes.
and you're going to be playing so many countries. You got the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, France, Czech Republic, it looks like.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and then what's SK?
SK is Slovakia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And HU, Hungary,
Hungary,
Poland,
and then we
and
have
then back to Germany, right?
Poland, and then in the fall we're gonna have Germany again. We're gonna have Switzerland, France. We should be going to the UK very soon. We're gonna play in Sweden. I mean, lots of places.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So you're going to be bringing Shout and some of the hardline hits in the deep cuts,
Yes,
right? You're going
yes,
to be taking me
yes.
down.
Yeah, Taking Me Down is there, but we're gonna play songs that we never played before. At
Okay.
least one song that we never played before, which is a great song, and it's one of the reasons why I love Hardline.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna play that too. Yeah, but we're gonna, that we have a new show, and it's I think it's really killer, and the band is sounding amazing. So I'm really excited. I mean, it's just a month and a half.
Yeah.
But it feels like, oh my God, when is it starting? Because I'm so looking forward to being on tour with Hardline.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing all the photos on social, and the album comes out what date?
April 17th.
April 17th. Oh, so it's
Yeah.
right in line, right as the tour.
Yeah.
is
First,
coming.
we made it we decided to do, what the great bands in the past used to do. First day of the tour is the first release day, and, you bring the new music to the fans, and you do it right.
There you go. All right. Well, Alessandro, it's been so great to see you again. And I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of your music. I'm a fan of your work ethic. You're a great guy, and you're just an absolutely wonderful guy to just have a nice cup of coffee with and hang out with in New York.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for the support, and you're just the best,
Thank you.
Such a great support from you all the time.
Yep. And we've known each other now for 6 years. I think 6 years ago was our first interview. So I look forward to this. I don't want to say 60 more. I don't know if we have 60 more years, but maybe at least another 16. Let's go with
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Great to see you.
Okay, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Special thanks again to my friend Alessandro Del Vecchio from Hardline for joining us. The new album Shout is going to be released on April 17th through the brilliant minds over at Steamhammer Records. You are hearing a clip of the title track. You heard it earlier in the interview as well. Pick up the album at hardlinerocks.com. And of course, as we said, to celebrate the release of Shout, Hardline has an extensive tour starting on April 17th, beginning in Germany at Hyde Park in Osnabrück, and that will take them all the way through May 9th, back to Germany at Kalasaal in Aschaffenburg. Apologies if I am butchering the names. There are festival dates during the summer, including at Wacken Open Air on August 1st. And then in November, they will be coming back around through Europe. The dates are on your screen right now with the tour poster. Always remember to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking artists like Alessandro Del Vecchio and his bandmates in Hardline. Visit hardlinerocks.com. Head on over to jacemediamusic.com for more interviews, reviews, and live coverage. And of course, I've got a ton of hard rock and metal musician interviews, including my all-time favorite metal singer, John Bush of Armored Saint and Category 7, Warlord and Alcatraz singer, Giles Lavery, guitar heroes like Herman Frank of Victory, and Soren Anderson, guitar player for Glenn Hughes, Philip Schaus of Accept, and Fate's Warning singer, Ray Alder, and members of Temptress, Avatarium, Captain Blackbeard, and more. Special thanks, as always, to our fantastic founder and publisher, Glenn. and all of my Jace Media colleagues. And of course, special thanks to you, the worldwide Jace Media music audience. Look for Jace Media on Facebook and X and Instagram and basically every social media channel you can think of. I am Justin Smolison, proud Jace Media contributor from across the pond. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep coming back to jacemediamusic.com. I've got more video interviews on the way.